Hello and welcome, friends. My name is Christine. This is I Will Find Joy podcast coming to you in such a beautiful new format. I'm so excited to welcome today my friend, Alessia Tenebruso. She is the founder of One Girl Travel. She is also a life coach. Welcome, Alessia. Thank you so much for taking time to be on the podcast today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. Can you tell us just a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, so I am a life coach, and like you said, I am the founder of One Girl Travel. And basically, my overall message is just empowering women to break free from their self-imposed limits and
Mhm.
encouraging them to just embrace this full life that they
Mhm.
have the potential and they just have to explore it.
I love that. And I'm so fortunate to know you as a friend also because we know each other from the School of Self-Image, the life coach Tanya Lee. And I'm so grateful to be in the presence of other people who have so many of the same mindset ideas that I do and all the teachings that we have. I've been listening to your podcast, a bunch of your different episodes, and I'm gonna pick your brain just a little bit. There was an episode that really stuck out to me, and it was let me just see here. I believe it was 26. You were talking, and I don't expect you to remember because it was a little while ago, but I've got some quotes that I wanted to explore with you that I thought were really exciting. You were talking about starting as beginners, and the episode really spoke to me with the new year. So before I dive into the things that really stood out to me, I want to talk to you about New Year. What are you doing for the new year? How are you starting off? How do you start off a brand new year?
Yeah, so I find the new year to be such an exciting time. It's a fresh start, and everybody's new year looks different. You might not be ready to start your year on January 1st. It might be March for you. So,
Hmm.
keep that in mind when you're planning your year. For me, I love January 1st as a fresh start, and
Hmm.
I'm really looking to expand. Last year was a year of learning and trial and error, and this year's about implementation and just embracing new beginnings and new opportunities. So
Oh,
for
I
me,
love
the new
that.
year looks like growth, it looks like expansion, and really just putting everything I've learned last year into play.
Oh, that's good. I like that. And I love the idea of not having to start on January 1st if you're not quite ready. I know Soci gave me the opportunity to start thinking about different things to be able to start to plan. When you're starting from scratch and you don't really know what that looks like, it was exciting to hear different things like the word of the year and to
Mhm.
think of an extraordinary goal. How do you feel about those kinds of things? I get really excited by it, but I had a little bit of a different take this year, and I'm curious how that's been for you, since that
Okay.
is the teaching that we have.
Yeah, so I believe in the word of the year. I love that it's my North Star for the year. Like
Hmm.
that's the direction I want to put all my intentions towards. For me, embrace is my word of the year, where
Yeah.
I just want to embrace life, new opportunities, putting myself out there and, embracing the hard stuff. So
Hmm.
that's really just, like I said, my North Star for all the actions I'm going to take this year. And I think it's
Hmm.
a great way to have that direction and to
Hmm.
your energy and your intentions on that because
Like that.
without having that navigation,
Mhm.
it's very easy to get lost in the noise and get confused.
Yes.
So
Yes,
I love
absolutely.
the idea of a word of the year.
I was so energized and excited about that when I very first joined. I had never heard that concept before, and it's amazing when people may have said it to me before and it never stuck, but when you're ready, all of a sudden it's like, whoa, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And I was so energized by it. And I picked a word that I thought was so fitting because it was something that was, I noticed it in all areas of my life that could be beneficial. And I chose it, and it was my North Star. Absolutely. That's such a great way to describe it because I would think about it all the time. If something happened that, okay, I wasn't doing this, and I'm not going to say it because I like to keep that to myself.
Okay.
But um, I just started to notice, and then it brought me back. Okay, this is why I chose it because this is what I need in this moment. And last year, I had the idea, okay, well, now I need a new word. And I picked a new word, but it wasn't right for me.
Okay.
And I had to change it. And I realized I wasn't quite done with the word from the year before. So I brought that back in, and I'm still not ready yet. I'm starting my third year with the same word, I think, just because I feel like I haven't gotten everything out of it.
Mhm.
But that's another thing, just like you were saying, I don't know that you have to keep it for the whole year. That you
I
can, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that we're constantly evolving and
Hmm.
that sometimes we hold ourselves to this like strict idea of we have to do what we said we're going to do. But
Hmm.
we're evolving, we're changing. And with that, our word of the year is going to change. Our goals are going to change. They're
Right.
going to evolve with us. And maybe it doesn't feel right anymore. And that's okay. Like give
Hmm.
yourself grace to make changes.
Oh, I love that idea. The episode I'm gonna get to that now because it falls. I apologize. It's 56. It was
Oh,
episode 56, and it was talking about. I'm so sorry. I thought I had the name of it here, but you are talking about showing up as yourself. And there's a
okay.
couple of quotes that you said that just align with my feelings and where I'm at. And I would love to get your perspective about it. And it's you're talking about starting new and showing up for yourself, and you say showing up as yourself. Do you want to avoid what you want to do, and what's more important, going after your goals or hiding because you're unsure of yourself? And be true to yourself. And I love that, being vulnerable with yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
I
I
love that.
Yeah, you have to be vulnerable with yourself because you're just starting out. Like, I think a lot of us want to go and start a new thing and be the best at it. And
Yes.
what we have to remember is we're starting at the beginning. Like,
Hmm.
yourself grace, everybody starts at the beginning and there's a learning curve. And there's going to be a lot of ups and downs and sideways and backwards. And it's just all a part of it. And it's all an experiment. And you just see what works and what doesn't work, you change and you make shifts and you keep going on your path. And
I
I
love that. You also say it's okay to learn. Give yourself permission to make mistakes. Be kind to yourself along the way. I identify with that so much because we do have this idea that, okay, when I put it out there, I have an expectation of myself that it's going to be free from mistakes. But how is that even possible if we've never done it before? Plus, we're supposed to be evolving. So as we start to do stuff, you're going to get better at it. But there's this idea that we have, and I don't know if it's something that's ingrained in us from youth or society or how that works. And after getting to know you just a little bit, I'm really in awe of your story and how you got to be where you are and what drives you forward. And so hearing you say those things, for me, it was very encouraging. I really appreciated it. And one of the things that you said, if you're comparing yourself as a beginner to someone who is well established in their career or brand or business, it's not fair to compare your stage one, excuse me, to their stage 150. And that's
Mhm.
such an important message to remind everybody. I really appreciated that from you.
Yeah, thank you. And it's so true because we
Mhm.
especially with social media and just being online, like we're seeing everybody's highlight reels and we're seeing people
Mhm.
who have been doing work for decades and
Right.
we're just starting out. We're like, oh, I want to be like them, not
Mhm.
realizing there's a lot of work you have to do in between to get there. And
There
you have
is.
to be gentle with yourself and kind to yourself to get you to that point because beating yourself up is not going to move you forward.
No, and it certainly doesn't make you want to get out there and keep trying if you're going to be so critical. But I know for myself, I am the harshest critic that there is. Some people may not notice it, or maybe they do, and I know they do because I saw it too. And that can be such a barrier to stop doing that. So I'm so curious. I was so energized and excited about just when I know that there's other people that feel the same way that I do, it takes a lot of pressure off of me. And so I'm curious to you, as you're going through those times where you're having moments where you're feeling like, oh, I should have done this or I could have done that, or even just getting to the next level. What are some things that you do to keep yourself on track and help with that self-talk?
Yeah, I mean, I really focus on what I'm learning. Like, even if things don't go the right direction, like, what have I learned from that? And
Hmm.
then it's like, okay, take what I've learned and then I'm going to shift. So, like I said, thinking of it as an experiment and just, enjoy the process rather than hating the process and
Hmm.
being miserable. Because if you're embarking on a new journey, it's for an important reason. You're not going to do
Right.
this for, for not a good reason.
Hmm.
So you have to just know like what's driving you and keeping
Hmm.
that very close to you. I believe in your why for
Oh,
everything.
yes.
You need to drill down and know your why for
Hmm.
whatever it is you're doing and let that drive you forward and get you through the hard times. And also just if you're not supporting yourself, there's nobody else out there that's going to support you more than you should be supporting yourself. Like
I
it's no,
completely agree.
right? Like it's no one else's job to encourage you to keep moving forward. Like you have to
Hmm.
own that. You have to take the initiative and you have to be kind to yourself along the way. It's like I said,
Yes,
beating yourself up is not going to move you forward. It's going to keep you stuck. So you have to just learn to be your own best friend through this journey, be your biggest
absolutely.
cheerleader, and keep moving forward.
Absolutely. That idea of holding on to your why completely changed my entire self-talk. And
Mhm.
as I would get into situations that were challenging, I would go through that process. Why am I doing this? What am I doing it? What's my intention? What do I want as an outcome? And that really has helped me to decide, oh, well, maybe it's because I thought that's what I was supposed to do. Well, cut. I'm not doing that anymore. But if it's something that I really want to do, that's something that has really helped me as well. And I loved hearing you talk about that. That's one of the beautiful things about the life coaching that we receive is those anchors in the mindset to keep you focused and keep you on track. That knowing your why, I love that. And in this episode, you were talking about your why and why you do what you do. And you were saying, my community is my source of inspiration because I want to share with you what I know. And that means I'm going to have to feel stupid sometimes. Alessia, that was so encouraging to me because so many times I'm talking or I'm trying to get pictures and I do feel stupid, but I appreciated so much. This is exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing because I want to share the things that I've learned. And I just want to thank you so much for that. Please tell me more things about what you do in your life coaching and other things. Tell me more about you.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I got to this point through going through hard times. I
Mhm.
went through a difficult period in my life where I needed to rediscover myself. And
Mhm.
that's where the solo travel took place. And that's where I found life coaching. And it's been over a decade. And because I've done this work for so long and because I've lived this journey and I see the power in just accepting yourself, pushing yourself outside your comfort zone, doing new things, and also having that the tools to help with mindset
Mhm.
and to really understand yourself, your thoughts, and all of that. That's why I want to share it with everybody else because I know the power in it. And the only way I can share it is by putting myself out there and
Mhm.
by, posting on social media, having a podcast, having my membership. Like that's the only way that I can share this message. And it's uncomfortable at first when you don't
Mhm.
know what you're doing because you've never done it before, right? You just
Right.
have to start. You just have to do it
Yeah.
and show up and be an example of what's possible for everybody else. If I can do it, you can do it. So that's why I just keep doing it because I want to make sure that everybody else out there knows that they're capable.
Well, I have to thank you. You were an integral part of my letting go workshop. It was not really advertised, and I'm really glad that it worked out that way. I reached out to you and was talking to you about wanting to do that, and that was my first step into a different situation. And I really appreciate you pushing me because I wasn't ready. I knew I wasn't ready. You knew I wasn't ready. But there's so much power in having people around you that will push you to do those uncomfortable things and stretch you in those ways. And so I really appreciate the way that you supported all of us, the team here, and be able to put that out and encouraging us to do something a little bit different. I'm looking forward to more. It's going to be
Yeah.
fun.
And just even saying like I wasn't ready, right? Like that's not really true, right? Because you did it.
I
You didn't
saw that. I saw
you
the
I'm
replay.
sure
I
you
wasn't quite ready, but it was
you
just as it was supposed to be.
you still did it. You
I
still
did it.
hated it. You still showed up. And
Yes.
it has propelled you forward. So,
Yes,
when we say we're not ready, it really just means we have to just do it. We have to do it
right.
when we're not ready because the moment's not going to present itself. We have to create.
Agreed. Agreed.
That's what you did, and I'm super proud of
Yeah.
you doing
It
that.
was, well, thank you so much. It really was a beautiful experience, and I was very thankful for the people who came. It was a beautiful support system for the very first time that I did it. And you're absolutely right. There is never going to be a time where I would look at the calendar and be like, "Hey, I'm ready." There was so much going on at the time, but it was such a beautiful experience for me. And you talked about that just a little while ago. It does not always go as we plan. And if we can lean back and just enjoy the experience of it and not be focused on the outcome, we can learn so much from it and enjoy those moments. I mean, going through the workshop, I didn't know if I was upside down. I couldn't see myself, but I just went out there and I did what I did, and it was breaking through to a different thing. And it was nice to have people believe in me as I believed in myself to just go and do it. And what I learned the most out of all of it was how much I loved it. I loved the experience, and I cannot wait to do more with more experience for
Yeah.
sure.
And I truly believe like done is better than perfect. Like just
Yes.
do it. Do it. Eventually you're going to perfect it. But
Right.
really, is there such a thing as perfect, right? Like
No.
it's just improving and changing courses and evolving as you evolve. Like
Mhm.
you have to just start. And that's the main.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And in this same podcast that you had, you talked about comparison, which I think for the most part, a lot of people may be able to intellectualize, yeah, I can't compare myself to anyone, but you still kind of hold, I know for myself, I have a lot of issues with my technology. My phone keeps filling up with data, and I'm very stubborn because I'm at a certain point where I don't want to put it all up in the cloud. I want to keep everything for myself. So I have challenges with that. But then I see some of the other stuff that's out there, and I look at what I'm trying to do, and there's that slight comparison. I know I shouldn't be doing it because my story is very different, but it's easy to get caught up in that. And I love the idea you said here, mind your business. And I love that because it's your business. It's nobody else's business. It's just what you're doing, and you have to be your biggest advocate. And I so agree with that. I really do. And I appreciate the words that you said. That was good. So what keeps you focused to be able to put out podcasts regularly, to be able to put out your newsletter, to be able to do all those things? How do you go about setting that up?
Yeah, I mean, again, I am not perfect with my scheduling. Things happen, life happens. It it's all about just enjoying the process. So
Hmm.
if I am feeling overwhelmed by other things, I will allow myself to take a break. If I need
Hmm.
to focus on something else, I don't want to get to the point of burnout where I'm not enjoying this, right?
Right.
So I have to pick and choose my battles sometimes. So I cannot be an advocate for consistently posting on every platform all the time, but I am an advocate for doing your best and for showing up and for really honoring and meeting yourself where you are now. So
Hmm.
that's the biggest thing. But the main thing is just showing up to get the message out, to helping
Hmm.
people. Like my
Right.
community is what makes me show up because I want to help. I want to
Mhm.
educate. I want to inspire. And that's the reason why I'm doing all of this, right? So I show up any way I can. And if it's a podcast one week and social media the next, so be it. But I'm
Right.
still showing up wherever I can.
I love that. That's so good to give yourself that freedom and permission. Giving myself permission to do things maybe not exactly as I planned. That's been a gift to me as well through the coaching, to that it's okay if it's not 100% done, as long as you're doing your best and understanding what your best is, because it's also easy to say, well, I did everything I could and know
Yeah.
that you're really not. But it's being honest with yourself about the whole process and what you can and cannot do, and challenging yourself. You have something really big coming up soon. Tell
Yes,
us
I'm
all
very
about it.
excited. So this is my
Yeah.
first time hosting this. I am hosting a Manifest Your Magic vision board party. is happening on January 22nd, 7 p.m. Eastern. It's a free workshop because the reason how this came about was I wanted to create a vision board for 2025. I'm like, when am I going to do this? Because I love the idea of vision boards, but dedicating the time, because like I said, the time doesn't just show up. You have to make the time.
Right.
So I'm like, you know what? It'd be really fun to do this with my community, like to just set our intentions for the new year, think about what worked for us last year, what didn't work, and then actually create these vision boards together. So it's technically a workshop. I'm calling it a party because I love to have fun and I like to keep things casual. So
Mhm.
we're gonna be hanging out at this party, and yeah, if anybody wants to join, I'll have the link. I'll send it
Wonderful.
to you. But yeah, I'm
Very exciting.
excited because I truly believe that visualization and feeling, like feeling what it's going to be like to reach those goals, truly
Mhm.
like embodying that as if it's happened already, that
Mhm.
is just like a slipstream for getting it done. Like that is just, it's such an advantage when you can feel like all the feelings of achieving those goals. And when
Mhm.
you have that, it's like, all right, I know what's going to happen because I already felt it. I feel like I already
Okay.
lived it. And you set your intentions, and I believe it's magical, and I'm very excited for everybody's visions to come to fruition this year.
That's awesome. So I had never done a vision board before we worked together, and that was a project that you had me do, and it was a little challenging for me. So I know I had done collages. You know, you'd get the I'm old school. I would do the poster board, cut out pictures from magazines and things. So I understand the concept of it. But for you, what kinds of things do you put on your vision board? What do you do as a process to be able to do that without taking away from your workshop? Because I'm sure you're going to get into that as well. But what
Oh,
when you're thinking about that, what things do you put on it, and what's the reason behind doing that?
yeah, so it's really about setting your intentions and really creating like a blueprint for how you want your life to go. So
Mhm.
it for me, it travels a big part of my life. So I put places and destinations that I want to visit. I have
Mhm.
images of women together, like happy because I host retreats. So I'll be hosting more retreats this year.
I
So
can't wait.
oh my gosh,
I'm so sorry I missed that other one.
it's the best feeling ever to be in community with women and like being somewhere fun and just laughing and enjoying each other's company. And
Mhm.
also having that experience of solo travel with somebody by your side. Like it's
Mhm.
amazing. So I have a lot of images like that. I have some encouraging like words. I have if- wealth images that would reflect like where I want to be financially. It's
Mhm.
really just about setting like my intentions for the year, how I envision my my ideal year to go, like the goals I want to reach. And
Mhm.
yeah, just having that focus. It's all about having a focus. Like this is where I
Okay.
plan to be. And then again, it's not, you know, make this board and that's it. It's make this board and then figure out how am I going to get there? How am I
Mhm.
going to reach these goals? How am
Mhm.
I going to have these feelings of actually achieving it? And then you do the work. Like you have to do the work. That's a big part of it.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And that's where we kind of go back to what we've already been talking about, giving yourself permission to do things for the first time in such a way. I know in soci I know Tanya said it, but I can't remember if it was in a podcast or what, but she made the comparison that would you judge or make fun of a baby learning to walk? And
Mhm.
she was likening doing things for the first time to a baby learning how to walk. And
Yeah.
if they were falling down, would you make fun of them? Would you criticize them? And if you wouldn't do that to a baby, why are you doing it to yourself? And I really appreciated that. I thought that was a really good analogy.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you know you wouldn't do that, but yet it's so easy to just beat yourself up and be so hard on yourself.
Yeah, well, there's this idea, I guess, with when you're thinking about yourself that somehow you're supposed to know, but I don't know how. I mean, it's the same. It really is sort of the same kind of thing when you think about it. It's learning a new skill for the first time. It's you are. a little bit of a baby or a toddler as you're going forward. And definitely giving yourself permission to do things for the first time has been a game changer. It seemed to me kind of silly. What do you mean give myself permission? But actually saying it's okay to fail. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to change your mind. It's not okay to stay in one spot because you don't know what to do. That's the
Exactly.
only thing that I've sort of shifted, that it's not okay for me to do. It's not okay for me not to make a move because I'm not sure how to go forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's really important just to be nice to yourself and to also push
absolutely.
yourself. There's a happy medium between it, you know?
Mhm.
Like to encourage yourself, to push yourself, challenge yourself, but also be nice to yourself and have your own back.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. That I think it's a gift to have people in your life that are honest with you and will tell you when you're okay, you're crossing a line here, you're going way out there, but it's also such a beautiful thing when you have the same people saying, "Oh no, you can keep going. You got to you can keep going and do so much more." And most people don't have both. I'm very fortunate. I feel as though I've got such an awesome support system around me right now. But what has been a game changer is that I'm my own first support system,
Mhm.
and getting to know myself and being that advocate for myself and being honest without judgment and understanding what is it that I want without judging what does that look like. And if I change my mind, it's okay to change your mind. And that's the beauty of being open to new things, I think.
Absolutely. And having that mindset is a game changer.
It
And
really is.
yeah, being able to tune out the noise of other people, like honestly, because everyone's going to have their opinions about what you do and what they think you should do. And that's why holding on to your reason for why you're doing it
Mhm.
is going to just quiet all that noise so you can focus on yourself and your goals.
Yes. Well, I agree completely, and that's very exciting. And I have one more, actually two more things that
Yeah.
I had listened to. And this, I don't know. I believe it was a couple after this. You were talking about singing in the car. I will tell you, I perform myself. If I pull up next to you and you're singing in your car, I will roll down my window to hear what song you're singing. There's something about that that is so freeing when you and the volume's all the way up and you are singing powerfully. It's very fun. You had mentioned in the podcast that you didn't always stop singing. I know sometimes I have to tone it down just a little bit because I don't want to get checked into a hospital.
Yeah, I realized I'm like back before I did a lot of this work, like I would always stop singing. If there were other cars around, like I don't want them to know. But now I'm like,
Right.
I don't care. I don't care what they think about me. Like I mind my own business. I don't know what they're thinking. So
Right.
enjoy myself. Like, why do I have to stop
Absolutely.
having fun because of other
Absolutely.
people?
I know I may stop singing, but I don't stop, with whatever. And then they can change their vibe coming up next to me. And I know you have also done some work with photography. Do you have an episode that you have on your own podcast talking about posing for photography? I'm
So
sorry, I kind of sprung that on you, but I
yeah,
meant to ask you about it before.
I don't have an episode that talks about posing. I actually have a master class. It's part of my One Girl Travel Club membership where I have
Hmm.
the solo stuffy master class where I teach everything there is to know about posing, taking your own photos, and taking your own photos that look like a photographer took them for you.
Hmm.
Because as a woman that travels by herself, it can get expensive hiring professional photographers all the
Hmm.
time. So I learned the art of taking incredible selfies. So yeah, I do have a whole course on it within my membership. And
Great. So
on the sorry.
no, I would agree. Keep going.
Oh no, on the podcast I do believe I do talk about um like selfie photography, but not all the nuances of taking those pictures and feeling confident in those pictures. That's
Mhm.
all in the masterclass.
Gotcha. Okay. Can you get information about that if people go to your website?
Yes, and I'll send you the direct link and you can post it in the show notes.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, I'm looking around The other stuff I have, I don't, I think that's all the notes that I have. Do you have anything else that you want to talk about?
Yeah, I think we covered a lot today, and I
Yeah.
just really wanna say, like, thank you for having me, like, I truly appreciate just having these conversations with like-minded
Mhm.
people and just women who want to empower other women and to share your story, and I think this is so exciting, and I'm very, very happy to be here, so thank you for having
Thank
me.
you so much. And I'm so happy that you were available and that you would come on. I really appreciate your outlook and your energy is so upbeat. I can't wait to join your workshop to be able to start a vision board for this year. I've never done that before, so except for when I did it with the workshop, but I'm excited to do it for the year. So
Yeah, it's
thank
gonna
you
be
so
fun.
much. I appreciate
Yeah.
your time.